There is no question that modern smartphones have reached a height of excellence, and in doing so, the lines are blurred between this year's model and last. But does it deliver enough to tempt Galaxy S24 owners to trade up to the successor? Today, we dive deep into the comparison between Samsung's newest powerhouse and its predecessor. Does the Galaxy S25 ULTRA have what it takes to become the new king? Or is the S24 ULTRA still clutching its crown, refusing to let go? Join me as we unravel nuances to find out whether it's time for you to go ahead and pull the trigger on this new guy, or whether you should go ahead and just be content with what you have already in your pocket. Let's go ahead and jump in. Let's dive into this showdown with a bit of structure, starting off with design. Now, design can be quite subjective, but Samsung has stuck with their familiar aesthetic for the S25 ULTRA. So if you were a fan of the past few models, chances are the S25 ULTRA will resonate with you as well. They're both big phones. We have titanium builds here with titanium grade 2 on the S24 ULTRA versus titanium grade 5, whatever that means, on the S25 ULTRA. And it's also 14 grams lighter. With that said, the S25 ULTRA has actually lost some of its bold, squarish look from the S24 ULTRA, but it still stands tall with a flat display. It has rounded corners, and interestingly enough, the overall phone feels pretty rough in hands, believe it or not, more than you would think. At least it's been the case so far in my user experience. People who complained about the sharp corners of the S24 ULTRA, well, they're now complaining about the sharp edges of the S25 ULTRA. On the other side here, the S24 ULTRA is just as big. It's bold, and it has a flat display as well. And as I've said before, this phone looks like it was, quote unquote, chiseled off of a block of metal. I love saying that. It has character to it. If you were to ask me, it feels noticeably more premium than this new guy here. No rounded corners here, so get your palms ready for those digging. Both phones support Samsung's signature S Pen, but here's the kicker though. The S25 ULTRA stylus ditches Bluetooth. What that means is no more remote shutter or fancy air gestures. Now, Samsung claims less than 1% of users actually use those features, and honestly, I'm actually inclined to believe it, because in all my time using S Pens on, the Note or the S line, I've never once felt the need for Bluetooth controls on these styluses. But hey, if in your case you did, well, this change might not sit well with you. Both phones have volume rockers, power button, USB Type-C 3.2, and on the back here we have those individual camera lenses that make up that camera module. I'm also going to note that the ring around the camera lenses are thicker on the S25 ULTRA, and they do pop more. Now, my verdict on design, without ever hesitating, I'm going to give it to the Galaxy S24 ULTRA. It's a much better looking device. It looks and feels more premium, and I cannot emphasize this enough. To me, it looks and feels more premium than the S25 ULTRA, and on top of that, you get colors that pop more with it when compared to the S25 ULTRA color options. Now, moving on to displays here. Both phones have stunning displays. No surprises there, right? But the S25 ULTRA stretches things just a little further, growing from 6.8 inches to 6.9. With that, the bezels are now 15% thinner, and they look even better. Now, if, like me, you loved the anti-reflective Gorilla Armor on the S24 ULTRA, well, you're in for a treat. The S25 Ultra steps it up with Gorilla Armor 2, featuring next-gen DX anti-reflective coating. Those are just fancy words to just say it's really good. Some slight differences here in PPI density and body ratio, obviously with the even thinner bezels, but all of the other display technical specs remain the same. Fantastic image quality, things are sharp, they really do pop, and that anti-glare coating works wonders under direct sunlight. And of course, if color accuracy and vibrancy matter to you, well, guess what? Samsung is still in that league of its own with these two top-tier displays. My verdict on the display here, truly no winner or loser in my book. It's a toss. Both displays are just so good, I can't even pick one. Jumping onto performance now, the S24 Ultra already has a beast of a processor from last year in that Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy built on a 4nm process. It was and still is fast, it's efficient, very relevant today, and it handles everything you throw at it without breaking a sweat. It is comboed with 12 gigs of RAM, and there's truly nothing to complain about this. So whether you are gaming, editing videos, consuming media, or simply doing the day-to-day stuff, the Galaxy S24 Ultra boasts truly an impressive performance. Now, as if that wasn't enough, Samsung took it up multiple notches with the Galaxy S25 ULTRA. This guy is boasting a Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy. This is Samsung's first 3nm chip and the fastest and most powerful chip on any smartphone out right now. You get config options for 12 or 16 gigs of RAM, and now pair all of that with a 40% larger vapor chamber, and you are looking at a whopping 40% better neural processing, 37% faster CPU, and 30% better graphic performance. Oh, let me actually not forget another 40% improved ray tracing for gaming. Translation: more power, better battery life, smoother performance when talking high-level constant gaming, especially in graphically demanding titles. If you are someone who pushes their phone to the limit, you will definitely feel the difference here. Now, if you just scroll Instagram or reply to emails and things like that, you probably won't be able to tell them apart. But verdict on power or performance and specs and all of that good stuff, clearly that's gonna go to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. All right, let's go ahead and talk software now, because while these two siblings are running One UI 7, at least one is coming out of the box with One UI 7 and the other one is eligible, the story isn't as straightforward as you might think. Like I've said before, Samsung's skin is all about customization. From Samsung Dex to deeper AI integration with Google, the experience is just dialed in for, these devices. But here's the twist. Some AI features are exclusive to the new Galaxy S25 Ultra here, at least at a glance, right? They're exclusive to this guy. I don't know why, don't ask. Samsung's decision making can be a mystery sometimes. But anyway, so some stuff you have here and some you don't have here. Now, the S25 Ultra does ship, as I mentioned, with One UI 7 out the box, and since the S25 Ultra is the newer phone, it gets that extra year of software support over the S24 Ultra. Also, while both phones technically run the same operating system, the functionalities might be identical, but the experience isn't always. On the S25 Ultra, pressing the side key, for example, lets you toggle settings, activate routines, or even summarize a web page, all with natural language commands. But guess what? All of this work on the S24 Ultra as well, except in a more roundabout way, right? They purposely made it that way. You also get the Now Brief and the audio eraser tool on the S25 Ultra, but if you're rocking an S24 Ultra, you're not missing much still. We got to do a verdict here. Verdict, as far as software goes, we're going to give it to the S25 Ultra. Now let's go ahead and move on to cameras. And as far as cameras go, Samsung's camera are already top tier. I mean, we all know that. But the S25 Ultra brings a few refinements. Thanks to its new image signal processor, the details are sharper and zoom shots look cleaner, especially at extended zoom levels. Ultra wide shots, practically identical if you compare them side by side, and I'm talking in good lighting. But one area where the S25 Ultra really shines would be low light performance. Samsung's AI-driven image processing is getting smarter, right? It's able to now pull out details, in low light photography, right? It's pulling out more details and pushing down the noise, right? So you can get better shots, in dark settings without necessarily cranking up the noise as we've been accustomed to seeing in the past. If you take a lot of nighttime photos, this might be the upgrade that makes a difference for you. So when it comes down to cameras, I'm gonna give it again to the Galaxy S25 ULTRA, and it makes sense. Let's move on to battery, and we'll go ahead and keep this section short. On paper, battery and charging speeds are practically the same, but don't let that fool you though. In real life usage, you certainly will feel the difference, especially when you consider how well optimized the Snapdragon 8 Elite is, along with that larger vapor chamber. I'm definitely seeing better battery life on the S25 ULTRA here, so as far as the verdict goes, I'm gonna give battery again to the Galaxy S25 ULTRA. Now, with all of this said, what is the final verdict? Should you upgrade to the Galaxy S25 ULTRA? Now, look, the S24 ULTRA is still a powerhouse. If you currently own one and you're happy with it, there is no reason, absolutely no reason for you to upgrade from this guy to the S25 ULTRA, unless of course you just want to do it. It's still one of the best phones out there. And honestly, even that Bluetooth S Pen support might be a deciding factor for some people out there, right? To hang on to the S24 ULTRA. Now, on the other hand, if you're rocking an older device, right, a couple of years or older, this thing would blow your mind. The Galaxy S25 ULTRA will blow your mind because it will bring relatively much better performance, stronger glass, slimmer bezels, and Galaxy AI features that will only get better over time. Bottom line, if you've been waiting for an excuse to upgrade, this might just be it, to those of you who have been waiting. But if your Galaxy S24 ULTRA, as I mentioned, serves you well, you might want to hang on to it for another year. In either case, both phones are top-notch. I'm certainly hoping that this was informative, that it helps your purchasing decision. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, or let me know whether you agree or disagree. Let's get that conversation going in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to share if you know anyone who would be interested. Make sure, of course, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I truly appreciate you stopping by. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video, of course. Up until that next video, as always, stay safe out there.